2024. SPOOs, they're off and running this morning, down some 18 handles. They're even, a hint of volume in the air. So the last couple of days, we've seen like 140, 146,000, maybe 148,000 contracts. Today, we're clear up to almost 200,000 contracts in the pre-market. Obviously, there was some data that came out like GDP. No real surprises. I was talking about Nvidia yesterday and how Nvidia has been moving the market now more than economic data. And well, effectively how screwed up that really is. Like you start to think about that. Holy crap, this was GDP, retail sales. There was a bunch of crap that came out this morning. Yes, that's my official terminology for economic data now. It's crap. Crap that came out this morning. Yeah, when I can't get like a full like sentence out, I just crap. Anyway, it's going to be that kind of a session. So you had GDP coming out, wholesale inventories, retail sales. It was a freaking data party, and yet we didn't trade. I mean, when we say we didn't really trade, this was literally when the data came out. We did what, 1,400 contracts? Oh, look at that. We got all the way to 2,500 contracts. It's crazy light. And to me, if there's a warning shot to have been fired this morning, that's it. That's it, people. You know what? Tim was just saying the SPOOs, that's the S&P futures, SPOOs. So the S&P futures, they did actually touch the lower expected move, the daily lower expected move. That, sir, is an accurate statement. So as we come into today's cash open, the other thing that really bothered me is the bonds, they moved. Excuse me, the bonds moved, but it was mildly, but well after some of the economic data dropped. And again, I was like watching. I mean, I don't sit there and like look at my phone all morning long. Just kidding, I really do. But no, during 9:30. By the way, that's 9:30 my time. I'm in a screwed up time zone. It's 8:30 Eastern time. So I'm in a time zone that doesn't really exist unless, of course, you live in the middle of the Atlantic, which I am presently in the middle of the Atlantic. Okay. But there's a positive note to that. I'm alone. I'm alone. Hiding from the family. I'm going back to Arizona on Friday. I gotta go back. Anyway, this is my vacation. Last week was vacation for the kids. This one's my vacation. Anyway, with that being said, so the SPOOs did touch down a little bit lower. They rallied back up. Point being, not much movement though off the economic data, and that it's troublesome. I mean, not even the dollar really moved off of it. You got more crap now moving from Nvidia, and quite frankly, it was Nvidia that took down the S&Ps this morning. I'm all off this morning. I almost missed the bell. Okay. The advanced decline line is negative. Ticks are actually going to be rather negative this morning. Like there's just no real surprises in the tape other than the fact that what it's reacting to, it's reacting to like one stock, people. So out of the gate, Nvidia opens down $10. And the reason I was showing it to you because it was in fact Nvidia that was taking down the market a little bit earlier. The other aspect that we saw yesterday, and really only yesterday, we saw put buying that was heavy in Nvidia yesterday. We saw call selling that was also heavy. There's some more of that effectively going on right now. We'll see if there's any follow through. Nvidia yesterday, at least to me, huge disappointment. So Nvidia yesterday, for those of you that had missed this, it dropped, I mean, like a rock into the cash open. And I'm just going to throw this out here. Okay. Look at the low. And again, I'm not a big market technician. I'm not going to be your market technician, although I can play one on TV. I'm not going to be the market technician over here. But what I am, okay, very aware of, and I try to be aware of, is specific levels. Okay. And this right around 770 carries a huge amount of weight. In fact, Go over here to that 30-day 1 hour. Just want to make a quick point. Okay. That holds huge weight. Do I know why? Hell no. But I'm going to tell you right now that algorithms absolutely unequivocally have memory. You start to crack through 770, all hell could break loose in there. So hands and feet inside of the vehicle at all times, people, because we are close. We're within $4 or $5, which is a nothing move inside of Nvidia. But I'm telling you, if we break through that 770, you're going to see some fireworks in that marketplace. I would also say that the put volume, that is puts traded at the ask or above inside of Nvidia, will explode right around that 770. So what are we doing now? Well, once again, now it's Wednesday. I've said this on Monday. I said it on Tuesday. Here we are on Wednesday. This is NVIDIA Watch 2024. The whole freaking week, we got to actually sit here and watch one ridiculous stock because it's all the marketplace cares about at this point. And it really is all that it cares about. You just saw GDP come out this morning. We don't need GDP. We have AI. And the funny thing about that is NVIDIA isn't even building the AI. Okay. What do? We build video stuff for AI. I use all the video cards though. They're awesome. Not going to deny that. I think my car runs on NVIDIA too, right? Isn't it Tesla use like NVIDIA, like graphics cards, right? So yeah, I got that going for me. I like my car. I like my computers. I don't need much else than that. Okay. I don't need no stinking AI. I find myself, I do use like Chat GPT maybe once a day when I'm working, maybe like once a day just to clean some stuff up because I don't want to anymore. But that's all I really use it for. You know, I want something spectacular. I don't need it to create images at this point. Something spectacular. Anyway, uh, hmm, spoos are actually coming off a little bit. Obviously, Nvidia coming off with it, and big driver in there. By the way, the financials, for the most part, massively unchanged. The energy sector massively unchanged. It's you and tech, and that's it. Look at Microsoft in the first couple of seconds trade had a dollar bid under it and just got popped. Ticks, okay. They're negative, but they're so like mildly negative, a mild negative tick. But the advanced decline line, that's definitely there. 70 decliners. You know, one thing I continue to reiterate, right? Uh, sorry, somebody just I saw a chat come in. The Wall Street Journal article today, the dark side of Chat GPT. There's a dark side, really? Okay. And we had to read an article about that. I can't, by the way, I can't read like a Wall Street Journal. I can't read like most of the articles out there. Like I know a couple of authors. I know a few of the people that over the years that have written for Zero Hedge and some of the individuals that contribute articles to like Zero Hedge, which is the most bearish site out there. Nevertheless, I just can't read like any of the mainstream stuff anymore. It's so poorly written. If that's ChatGPT, there's your dark side right there. I think that ChatGPT would do a better job at writing than the crap that is out there. And I really do mean that. It's terrible. Some of the articles that are currently in major publications, terrible would be an understatement. I would not put that in a dog's cage. That's how bad it is as of late. So here we are again, just about 5 minutes into the cash open, and we're just slopping around a little bit. One thing very notable. Let me actually bring this up for a second. There's definitely some volume that is rocking in this marketplace. So we're going to keep again pretty good eye on things. There's not a lot of big strategic positioning right now. Okay, other than I am thinking about and going to be shopping a number of catapults. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a number of catapults, and that's going to be fairly critical. You know, in early discussion this morning. And again, I'm just watching this marketplace pretty carefully right now because the volatility again doesn't seem to be reacting very much. You know, crypto's through the roof. Look at this. If you hadn't seen this lately, okay, they all like me. They really, really all like me. I got to get out more often. This is what happens when I go to the island by myself, especially after spending an entire week. I didn't even talk about that. I spent an entire week with like, the in-laws on a cruise ship, and they were like two doors down from us. Oh man, it was it was tight quarters. Three kids in a room next to me. I was losing it. I don't know what's worse, the other 5,000 passengers or my three kids in the room next to me. Okay, could hear them fighting, fighting. It's good stuff. Uh, so in any regard, we're gonna look. Sorry, I'm still cracking up about the Wall Street Journal thing over there. Okay, I can't read it. Can't read it. Somebody actually sent me. People send me articles almost every single day, which is actually great. I don't mind that at all. Like, here's a great article. Not even looking for comments, but I get stuff sent to me every single day. And the one thing I do is I read, I don't know, dozens of articles a day, but I also read a few hundred emails in a given day. Pretty much read everything that comes through into TheoTRADE. Whether I respond to it or not, sometimes Brandon picks it up and I kind of cherry pick some of the emails a little bit. But people send a lot of articles in, which is again usually some pretty interesting stuff. Um, but uh, Darren, there is nowhere to run on the cruise. Okay, believe me, I found places to hide. Found places to hide. The one strange thing on a cruise ship, though, is that in the bars on the cruise ship, okay, not only can your kid go into a bar, but they have like babies in the bar. There was a couple sitting next to me one night in a bar at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm having a drink, and there's a baby sitting next to me in like a car seat. And the baby was watching the show, and it was loud. And I'm like, there's all kinds of disturbing things going on. That was right up there. Okay. There's a baby in a bar, only on a cruise ship. Okay. I could see that thing kind of thing happening on this island though, too. Baby in a bar on the island. They would do that here too. Um, so I came to the island after the cruise ship with not only my wife's blessing, she was like, no, please, you should go, go away for about a week. By the way, the volume is still absolutely there on that put side. It's not extreme. Look, there's still 62,000 calls trading versus 37,000 puts, but there's definitely more put volume traded at the ask or above, okay, than on the bid or below. It's not outstripping it by a wide margin. You can see there's actually heavier call volume coming in right now, okay, but the battle for Nvidia it's on, okay, it is on over there. Sorry, I'm reading over here. It was not the E-Trade baby, okay? It was just a baby. And the couple, okay, was three sheets to the wind on the on like 11 o'clock at night. Uh, I wasn't the only one like making comments though about that. I like walked out of the bar. People were like, "You see that baby sitting in there?" The baby was like mesmerized. It was a good show though. It's good. It's a good band. All right. Continuing on over here, as I was saying, I'm going to be looking for some catapults throughout the course of today's session. Before I do so, we'll talk about some individual stocks, a couple of positions I've got on. You know what? Let's actually start inside of the SPX because I'm going to tell you something. I rarely do not know this off the top of my head, but right now, okay, I'm just looking where is the lower edge of expected move. And the survey says really freaking far away. uh, any given like down day, I know obviously we were down mildly on Monday. Okay. Tuesday, a little bit of a bid back to the marketplace. Here we are on Wednesday, a hint of sell side activity in the air. But why am I even paying attention to the downside of this expected move? So I kind of continue to reiterate, not only is Nvidia completely in play and that 770 level, like we got close, but okay, moreover, and I think what's important in here is we haven't seen any bump in volatility. So all I'm, um, baby crying in the beer. Okay. You know what? It's okay with me. Okay? Screaming kids, been there, done that, really don't give a damn. Get on an airplane, there's like screaming children. People are like, can you shut that kid up? I think it's hysterical. I'm like, at least it's not my screaming kid anymore. Anyway, so I'm paying attention to the lower edge of the expected move, not necessarily because I think we're going there, but what's it going to take to get vol moving? I mean, we need some vol moving in this marketplace. There is absolutely no fear. There is no loathing. There is nothing. Okay. Even the bonds, they've completely stagnated. What's it going to take at this point to get markets moving? The other aspect is if we go back to the SPX for a second, right? It's official. We haven't really done much. This is 4 days of nothing. So after the Nvidia pop, okay, we're slipping mildly. Okay, it doesn't mean that we're done per se rallying, but we're slipping mildly. There's no price action in here, but there's just absolutely no price action in the bond market. And that is the bothersome aspect to me. Okay. By the way, speaking of the bond market, the bonds now, okay, are officially rolled. Okay. And there's huge volume in the bonds, but again, this was like the last, morning to roll. It was roll them if you got them. It's over. Okay. It's all over, people. It's all over. But it's basically officially like the roll is done in here. Nevertheless, just starting to pay a little bit more attention to the fact that they're just not moving. Okay. And there was a proverbial crap load of economic data that got piled on us not only last week, but this week. Okay. And they're not moving. Uh, again, I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say bothered by it, I'm confused by it. I'm real confused though how the tape is not feeling impacts, okay, of economic data. Like if you look at this and again, be as, realistic as you can barely even tell where critical economic data came out, which is right here, but it actually came out, okay, at 9:30, which is this candle here. Unusually light movement for it. Moreover, if I bring up the bond market, you realize you can't even pick, if this is a lineup, you couldn't pick out anything. Right here is your economic data. It didn't do anything, right? Some movement in that market. By the way, this right here, that's actually a little bit of Fed speak kind of going on. There's a lot of Fed speak going on this morning. So I'm left in a little bit of a conundrum this morning. Okay. And my conundrum is where do you want to go? And I say that what I mean by that is I'll take some shots in the market. And that's exactly why I was bringing up Catapult. Okay. But I'm not going to get all kinds of crazy strategic on you, meaning like I'm not going to go out there and rush to sell premium. Okay. Because no one has that feel right now for the next move of the marketplace. If you don't believe that, like volatility screams it, bonds scream it. Okay. No one has any feel right now, but there is one overwhelming theme. Okay. And the overwhelming theme I would give you, and I was talking to some of the guys here at Theo about this, specifically like Brandon, Blake. Okay. My overwhelming theme is what's left to buy in the market. And I started talking about that yesterday. You know, what's left to buy in this marketplace? In terms of sectors, terms of stocks, right? It is an extraordinarily unique position where, you look at, first of all, like tech, okay? These are, I mean, is it worthwhile to buy this? It's up like 9%. I think you could probably make an argument for some Apple, which is down 2%, but Apple just, they're no longer building a car. I like how they like repurpose people. Okay, by the way, I know you've spent the last 10 years trying to build a car. Now you're going to build AI. How about that? Anyway, I think that Apple, some people are going to make a good argument to buy Apple because it's actually down on the year. Okay. I caution you that Apple, right, somewhere around this 180 level, that would be fairly critical. I think it is a critical juncture. That one's at a very critical juncture, as is, of course, as I was mentioning earlier, Nvidia. I think Nvidia is going to hit that 770 level this morning. We may see some fireworks in this first hour of trade. Nevertheless, okay, oops, my mouse stopped working for a second. Nevertheless, okay, when I say what's left to buy, I'm not trying to be facetious in any way, shape, or form. Somebody was saying, nah, no problems there. I'm not trying to be facetious. What's really left to buy? I'm sure we could find a couple of individual stocks in here that might, have some meat left on the bone. I'm not really going to be a big advocate of Starbucks. Like, look, if you're trend following over here, I wouldn't touch this one. uh, if you are a trend following monkey, this is not gonna do it for you. I've been over the years both bullish and bearish in Starbucks. I'm just bringing it up because I was looking at this one that is, if you look at like an RSI over here, it was in rather oversold conditions. It's actually turning back up right now. Anyway, the point being over here, I just can't find that many things in the screen, and it's really, really problematic. Oh, somebody said actually monster. Okay. That's for this one, which, oh, sorry, I thought it was monster. It's MicroStrategy. Okay. Which is a monster unto itself. All right. There's all these symbols that I just don't know. Anyway, boy, what's I got to look at this one too, right? What's the RSI on that little guy? Oh, that's good stuff right there. It's not nearly as high as I would have thought, but 75 in terms of the RSI. Okay, MicroStrategy on fire. Again, it's just there's not a lot of places to move, and that's probably one of the reasons that we're all looking at the marketplace. Again, the financials. I can't believe these things are up even 13 cents. There's not any portion of me that wants to be a buyer of financials. Now, the Fed is likely, and I haven't brought this up in some time, but I'll do it right now. Okay. The Fed is now likely, according to FedWatch, okay. The Fed is now likely to do absolutely nothing in the March meeting. If you take a quick glance over here, now we're all the way out to the May meeting, this was assured of a rate cut. Okay. March was even assured of a rate cut a couple of weeks ago. May was assured of a rate cut. In fact, they were pricing in 50 basis point rate cut. This is now an 80% chance of no cut. Okay. Just pay attention real quick because things get even crazier in here. Now we're maybe, okay, a 50, we'll call it 50-50 because the probabilities are all over this. This even changed this morning of a June rate cut. Okay. You're basically out. The assured rate cut now is all the way pumped out to July. That's the first rate cut that's truly being priced into the marketplace would be June or July meetings. So they've staved off the rate cut. What could help the financials is the fact that, again, rates are going to be higher for longer. As long as actually rates are higher, they actually yield a little bit more in the spread. The spread is basically, your money, what they pay you versus what they just keep, which is everything. They keep everything. What do they give you? Nothing. I, I was looking at an account the other day. It was like I want to say it was like 0.5% they were actually paying inside of an account. By the way, here we are. Nvidia is getting close, right? 0.5%. And I'm like, monkeys are out there making what? Oh, 4.5, 5%. It's good stuff for them. All right. In any regard, I would not touch the financials, any of them. I mean, it's not just a hard call. Like it's Goldman Sachs. I've been looking to actually take a position in Goldman Sachs now for quite some time, bearish position that is, which has been channeling back and forth. I've been incredibly patient on this particular trade, but haven't actually executed into it. JP Morgan continues to actually climb a little higher. By the way, with JP Morgan, I almost pulled the trigger on this one last week. It's two times it actually cracked the upper edge of the expected move, which if you actually remember back to in-out spread criteria, okay, for those of you that are privy to have watched that lovely class, the one of the criteria was cracking expected move 2 consecutive weeks in a row would actually trigger me to put on an in-out spread. That one is still there. And the irony is the stock's actually slightly higher than it was. I'm still very comfortable with the JP Morgan idea in there. Okay. But before I start executing, I think it's important to look through a couple of other ones like Bank of America, bring up auto expected moves. Okay. And it sold off a little bit last week, rallied a little bit this week. That's not going to be there. Same with Citi. Citi hit the upper edge of the expected move, hit the upper edge of the expected move, but it's just nowhere near, like nothing looks, okay, if you will, nearly as bullish as JP Morgan. Here's actually Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo has had a huge move, but just bear with me here for a second as I show you this. It's up 11%. You're like, whoa, that one looks even more, wild than JP Morgan. And JP Morgan, though, is up about 7% a year-to-date basis. But overall, the run in JP Morgan is just, it's been incredible. It really has been incredible, even versus Wells, which is outperforming this year. It's also an incredible move. I would say that these two are almost joined at the hip in terms of candidates. Okay. Because right now, actually in Wells, you're 1, 2, this is the third week in a row it's actually hitting the upper edge of the expected move. I may change my mind. This thing really moved. I knew this cracked 2 weeks in a row of upper edge of expected move, but it was after a major sell-off. We'll see how this one plays. Bear with me for just a second. Obviously, I'm a little distracted. We keep coming down to some very pivotal levels inside of Nvidia. It's pretty evident that NASDAQ has taken some heat this morning. Again, there's absolutely no movement, though, on the front of volatility. Nothing. That's the first uptick we've seen in volatility, and the SPOs are down 20 handles, right? It's crazy. Okay. So yeah, I'm actually torn. Wells Fargo, what do you think? Wells Fargo, JP Morgan. I'm actually going to, I think I may actually try to work an order in here. It's a fast moving marketplace, but let's go shopping. Let's go shopping. In this one, I think I would only go 29 days out. Now it's trading right at the 55 strike, which means I got to wrap it with a 56, 54 spread. It's 86 cents. It's actually, I'm going to work one at 85 first. Okay. By the way, I typically like to work about a penny below wherever that mid is. Again, bid offer spreads are pretty good in here. If you look at volume and open interest, do not be perturbed by the volume and open interest. Okay. Because in the monthlies out here, there's just huge volume. You don't have to worry. Even in short duration stuff, there's huge volume, there's huge open interest. So even though getting in this, there's not a lot of open interest in here, that's because this is a rather new series, meaning that it hasn't traded really much yet. It hasn't been alive long enough. I'm just probing markets in here right now. This fill to me should be somewhere right around 88 to 89 cents. And I'm actually going to work one at 89 cents. I'll be rather surprised if this one doesn't execute. In fact, I'm going to cancel replace, move it around a little bit. Stock hasn't really moved. Highest I'm going to go is 90 cents in this spread because that's really where it should trade, right? So I'll work that one and see if we fail. From there, we'll leave it alone. All right. So I had every intention of putting on a spread specific to, of course, JP Morgan. But again, this break to the upside inside of Wells Fargo is staggeringly large. Moreover, it actually is making me rethink, okay, a position that I have got on in JP Morgan. I've got a couple of different positions in JP Morgan. I'm getting beaten up though on a duration. Okay. This is actually an in the money put. And I'm rethinking that one because I actually like the Wells Fargo position even better. So let's let the Wells Fargo position kind of come to us. I would not adjust price, beyond that 90 cents in there. Again, I'll reiterate, this is a $2 wide spread. Like, look, we could pay more for it, but I'm just telling you, like this market here, which is $1.74, $1.88, that it's got some room in there, and there's some wiggle room in there. Okay. Now somebody obviously just filled, and a couple of you are filling, but the question is, what are you paying? Okay, because I'm not moving above 90 cents. And I see you working orders in here. Okay, you're working orders over me. I'll move around on exchanges. I don't know how people are filling. You're not filling at 90 cents though. Okay. In fact, we could even go look and see what prices you are filling. That's that'll piss a few people off. Good stuff. To do that, you just go into option time and sales. Okay. Isolate those particular strikes in there, and we could actually see where people are filling. Don't you lie to me. I know. So, wow, Robert actually says he filled at 90 cents. Okay. Well, how the hell am I not filling? Robert, are you actually trading it through Tasty? Are you trading it through Chucky over here? I'm just curious. Okay. I'm curious if you trade through Tasty or you trading through Chucky, because I am starting to see a difference in pricing. Okay. Oh, Mike actually filled at 90 cents too. All right. Where are you guys filling them at? Okay. Tasty or Chucky? Chucky is now Thinkorswim. There is no more Thinkorswim. It's only Chuck. Chuckley the clown. So speaking of the clown, okay, I'm gonna write this up here, and I keep putting on the date. Okay, May 10th PM accounts. Okay, move. Okay, my M sucks, but you get the point. What does that mean? May 10th PM accounts move. Okay, I have a portfolio margin account. Look at that. All right, so this is interesting because almost everybody that filled is filling through Tasty, which means that Tasty right now has a better order routing deal. There's no question about that. You know, there's only one person that actually filled through Chucky the Clown. Another person. Okay, but the order routing in there is what you basically do is when you go to firms like Citadel, you set up an order routing deal. You get paid less, but you can get better fills for the client. Like fractionally better fills, but better fills for the client. You get paid more, the fill might not be as good. I have no idea. Okay. And I'm not going to speak out of turn as to what the deal is between Charles Schwab and like a Citadel. I don't know. Okay. I do know, okay, that they're very aggressive at Tasty. And I know that for a fact because I even talked to, while I was on the cruise last week, strangely enough, Sosnoff called me. And he's like, seriously? He's like, now you're going on cruises and stuff. He's like, it's all wrong. It's like, that's the Don I know would never go on a cruise. I think he said that about 3 or 4 times. There's my fill at 90 cents. So I am now filled. Okay. The Don I know would never go on a cruise. I believe that was stated. So I'm going to create a duplicate order. I'm actually going to come in here now, even at 89 cents. Okay. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to create a duplicate order. I'm going to fill another one at 90 cents. There we go. So we know we can fill at 90 cents. All right, create a duplicate order. I'm going to copy this. Okay, and we're actually going to get this one out. Wow, that was a fill at 89 cents too. Good, good. The stock is spurting to the upside over here, which is actually helping us, right? 100 of them now filled, and we'll see. Okay. Uh, anyway, as I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted by myself, May 10th, PM accounts move. What that basically means is if you have a portfolio margin account, which I do, okay, we are the last, okay, of the peoples to move from TD Ameritrade's back end system. So when you think about a brokerage firm, a lot of people don't realize this, okay? A brokerage firm. This is a brokerage firm. Here, I'm actually going to clean the screen off really quick. I can't put Wells up there. It would actually make me sick to my stomach. Okay, let's just put Apple up here for a second. When you have a brokerage firm, okay, there's actually three independent things. There's the front end platform like TOS, okay, and then there's what they term a middle office, okay, and then there's basically like clearing and like a whole back end system. All right, TOS right now is actually running specifically on TD's technology. What's actually going to happen is they're going to move this clearing over to Chuckley. Okay. So toss of a middle office and then go right here to Chucky. And then TD Ameritrade, then they'll shut down the entire brokerage firm, meaning that they don't need TD Ameritrade, the separate broker dealer. It's actually hard to have multiple broker dealers because you have to maintain compliance on both of them for both FINRA, Securities Exchange Commission, and it doubles basically the workload. So of course they want to sunset all of TD Ameritrade as fast as possible and then fire a bunch of people to make their stock go up a couple of bucks. Is that messed up? Okay. It's true. Okay. It would only be messed up if it wasn't entirely true. And it is entirely true. Nevertheless, okay, as you start to do this, the portfolio margin accounts are by far and away the most complicated of all the accounts. Like it's a complex mechanism of margin, and moving these accounts is a very dangerous little proposition, but they're going to do it. They're going to move the accounts finally. And you knew it was going to happen, but it's going to be May 10th because I got the email. Now, what about toss charts? Look, Thinkorswim is not going away. Like, they bought Thinkorswim. I mean, look, TD Ameritrade was purchased because they have a ton of accounts, but it was really purchased for the technology. They wanted a Thinkorswim. You know, Hmm. Many people don't know this, but when TD Ameritrade bought Thinkorswim, there were two other suitors at the time. So basically, when you get an offer, like TD Ameritrade came in and they said, I'll give you $600 million. Well, you get to go around and shop the deal. Okay. Do we have any buyers? Okay. For 650 million. No takers, no takers. But Charles Schwab was one of the other suitors at that point. And when it comes to it, like, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, there was actually a third player in there, but there's a non-disclosure on that one. The third player would have been actually the greatest deal ever. I'm upset that one didn't happen because we would have taken over the world. No, but I think that TD Ameritrade was actually a pretty good suitor for it. Okay, so the Thinkorswim platform will still live. Okay, at least for the time being, but there's just no question that things could go wrong for some of the portfolio margin accounts that could change how margin actually works. Okay, it's a very, very big undertaking as it pertains, okay, to that. So bear with me here for 1 second. I need somebody to text this out. All right, sorry, a little bit of a bid back onto the S&Ps right here. So we'll talk a little bit about it. It was not IB. There's a non-disclosure, but it was not IB. It's somebody that you guys would never know. All right, let's. The only thing I will tell you is it was a trading firm. It was a trading firm and trading firm that we knew very, very well. But it was it's a lot of money at that point. In any regard, let's move onward. Okay, was not IB. Okay, and I wasn't going to work. I wasn't going to work there. Okay, let's just take a glance back over here. Nvidia continues to weigh on the markets that much, but it's down like 1.6%. I'm actually interested. Netflix, which has had just a meteoric rise, having a little sell side activity. There's nothing really getting whacked. I mean, it's a hit maybe across the board a little bit, but we're talking like 0.3% inside of the S&Ps. The advanced decline line's actually gotten better. Okay, look at the ticks this morning. Okay, the ticks, they flipped over, they've gone positive. But I'm going to tell you, all of that is for absolutely nothing. Okay, it's all for nothing. Bear with me here. Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm just looking around the screen. All right, just looking around here. Okay, back to it over here. So anyway, I will discuss much more about that. Okay. No, Robinhood wasn't even like a thing back then. Everybody's throwing names out. Okay. That was not even a thing. It was a trading firm. Okay. Robinhood. So one of the guys that actually ran Thinkorswim, actually the guy that ran Thinkorswim, Steve Quirk, when Tom Sosnoff left, he runs Robinhood. I mean, Robinhood has, the founders still there, and the founders are the ones that you hear on the conference calls. But the person really running it is actually Steve Quirk. He runs the whole organization over there, everything brokerage operations. So, of that group, that was the core group of Thinkorswim. One runs part of E-Trade. One obviously stayed with, there's one person that kind of stayed with Charles Schwab. Obviously Tasty, which is a lot of the people from Tasty are Thinkorswim. One, clearly runs Robinhood. It's interesting. It's a pretty small world out there. It's a good thing we didn't piss anybody off over the years. They run everything. Okay, here we go in Nvidia. All right. I would expect that volume will explode even under the the 172, the 772. It's a big number for me to say 772. Okay. Anyway, okay. I will make no comments, RJ. It's good. It's good coffee. Okay. Looking down here, bottom of the screen. So Wells Fargo, I filled a couple in here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, I'm just reading through. We're about to actually send a text message on this little monkey, so bear with me here for 1 second. So buying the 56, selling the 54. Yeah, we'll set it out 90 cents, the opening order. And I'll pop this one back in the chat just so everybody can see it. There's the actual trade in here. Bear with me for a second. There's the trade. I'm also going to copy the order itself and pop the order in here. Either or. But that trade is going out right now via text message. So if we go in here and create a duplicate order, just watch as we do this. It's always amusing. So the text message has now gone out. And the second the text message goes out, you'll see the volume really start to jump in here. All right. As I say that, it's like barely moving. How many did I fill? I got three lot, short 100 shares in here. Okay. Let's actually go after at least a couple of contracts. By the way, I like to fill and then I like to send the trade out and then I try to work the order a penny better. Okay. So that is what we do. Whoops. Sorry about that. I'm going to work one more at 90 cents. The reason I'm doing that, I just want to see if I can fill at 90 cents. So we know 100% we can fill at 90 cents. I even have one working right now. Again, one working at 89 cents. Just to confirm, if I fill at 89 cents, it means everybody at 90 cents was executed. So you can see, again, we're working some volume in there. With that S&Ps, maybe recovering just a little bit over here. But as I said to you, it's all about somewhere around that 72, okay, 72.70. That would be where I would say is going to be fairly critical in the minutes and hours to come inside of Nvidia, because it could turn into a little bit of a firefight down there on this product. Going back down to option statistics on Nvidia. Okay, and it's like at this point, beyond sickening to even talk about it. Look, the number of puts trading, it's definitely keeping up out there. No question about it. We are still really, really edgy. Like the number of puts trading at the bid, number of puts trading at the ask is identical, but it's also identical pretty much on the call side of things. Okay. We are by no means out of the woods just yet. Okay. So Ivan, I was saying what's going to happen. Ivan was asking what's going to happen to the toss technology. It's going to stay. You hope that it's the same, but you got to understand the back end system, okay, is of critical importance because on the back end systems, when you have a clearing firm, like that's what hosts what's termed a margin library. Like, what do you think actually understands all these trades? Okay. So every single trade that goes into a platform like this, no matter what trade it is, okay, imagine you have to have a geek like me sitting on the back end trying to figure out every possibility of every trade. And then it calculates the margin for those trades. The concern that I have is that on portfolio margin, it doesn't calculate margin the same way. It uses like a span calculation. And that calculation is, it's not just of critical importance, it's what runs portfolio margin, but there's a lot of room for error in those calculations, a lot of room. I mean, I worked like years on coming up with better ways to compress these equations. You would think they would have it down pat right now, but Charles Schwab never had portfolio margin like this. Okay, so it's something new, something interesting. It's not an easy cut and paste for him either. Like you got to rebuild that system. Anyway, advanced decline line is picked up, and as I was saying a moment ago, in the S&Ps, the ticks are positive 500. Don't get ahead of yourself, though. And I say don't get ahead of yourself. I simply mean so you have weight right now still from Microsoft. Okay, weight being it's not positive. Apple's still down 0.5%. Okay, Amazon's out of action. Google this week is just sucks. I mean, Google. Okay, here's another one hitting a very critical level. I would think that somewhere right around this like 135. Okay, when I talk about it just sucks this week, Google is beyond like 2 standard deviations pretty much. It's huge movement this week after another, substantial move. But in any regard, you now have Google down 1% in the year. It's amazing to see that markets are still doing what they're doing when Google and Apple are down on the year. Okay, Amazon still rocking on the year. Obviously, the leader in the pack right here would be Nvidia, and of course Meta, not too far behind. Okay, boy, I just loathe Meta. Just absolutely okay. Look, Nvidia, you got me there. Like I like video cards, but like Meta, there's just not 1 ounce of me that likes that thing. By the way, look at ticks right now. They're ripping. Okay, they're ripping. And at the same time, I'm saying that. Okay, I wouldn't get all kind of bulled up over here because there's like some rotations going on, right? And they're not positive. The rotation looks like it's coming out of tech. So here's again, I just you sit here and you watch stuff like Nvidia because I think we're only about $2 away from seeing the Nasdaq really crack lower. It's good stuff. Okay, see, Carl is with me. Carl is with me. Okay, I've got one. I've got Carl. Nobody else. Nobody else is an absolute deep meta hater. Okay, I can't help myself on that one. There's not too many companies that I'm like, what a pile of crap. But we have to advertise in Meta, which bothers me even more. So you're spending millions of dollars on Meta, like TheoTRADE. They have to advertise on Meta. Some of you probably found us on there. See, nobody ever wants to admit that, though. I didn't possibly find you on Facebook. I was not looking at high school photos when I found TheoTRADE. It's okay because I'm the one who's spending the money, out here in Metaland. But nevertheless, I still despise it. And what I despise the most about it is it's not what it stands for. It's nothing of that. It's a pile of crap in terms of technology. It's just, yes, Ivan, you are the product. It's just crappy technology. And I kind of worked on some technology. It's like a website that's kind of crappy. All right, some of the developers that work there, one of which is probably listening right now, he may disagree, but I'm not impressed. I am not impressed. Okay. just making sure we're all on the same page over here. Okay. Huh? is there anybody here that's like, nah, I absolutely love it. It's okay to say that. All right. I won't attack you. Well, easy, easy, Don. All right. All right. Continuing on over here. Sorry, I'm just looking over there. And nobody actually found us on Meta. There goes a few $1 million of advertising. Okay. Oh, the S&Ps are they're just sloshing around right now. Okay. So I did put the Wells Fargo trade on. I have not filled. Okay. The last one here at 89 cents. Still working it. In terms of Wells, though, it was up 51 cents when I filled it, you know, at 89 cents last time. I'm surprised there's not as much contract size on here. So not everybody is necessarily filling just yet, but they're coming in. I mean, at this point, it's a $2 wide spread. The minimum contract size by end of day should be closer to about 2,000 contracts in here. Okay. Uh, found on Star. I bet that said Facebook, but instead, okay, you have to put the symbol in there, okay, because the word Facebook has been stricken from the record. See, okay, it's good stuff. Um, hmm, I have no idea what a signal even is. Okay, that's some crazy stuff. Like you're gonna start talking to me about like WhatsApp and crap like that. Yuck. Anyway, yeah, Mino got Wells Fargo at 89. Okay, back to a handful of other stocks. Baidu. So I was looking at Baidu this morning, and I was looking because Baidu was actually up quite substantially in the pre-market. Talk about a fade to well, deep dark redness. Baidu, what we have in here, and the reason I'm going over to expected move and kind of clarify this, Baidu had earnings. Baidu had earnings. And again, caught a bid after earnings. I mean, it was a 116. It's now a 104. We're talking fairly substantial moves. Nevertheless, expected moves $8.47. Actual move 767. So it's pulling in right now to its expected move to the downside. I have to tell you, this one's a little bit surprising because if you haven't looked at this chart lately, okay, this is not good. Not good for Baidu. Not good because breaking the 100 level, I mean, we're talking about, well, here, you can go back as far back as you want to go, breaking the 100 level. This is not a good sign, not a good chart at all. Apparently, AI is not helping them at all. But they said the magic word, it was AI, and it did nothing for them. We're going to look around a little bit at some of the other Chinese firms. Here we actually have Alibaba Group, Alibaba Group also taking a bit of a hit today. Okay. Now, what is a little strange, and I just want to bring up a little bit of a relationship here. When Baidu takes a hit, Baba takes a hit, and vice versa. Okay. These two are the dominant forces inside of FXI. FXI obviously taking a big hit. So those dominant forces over there have actually got Chinese markets, Chinese large caps, specifically down over 3%. So this is again the first time we've seen some sell side activity, okay, in quite some time inside of the Chinese large caps. I'd not stand in the way of this one. Okay. I do believe at this point now, for those of you that remember, and the reason I'm actually bringing up Baidu and I'm bringing up Baba, for those of you that remember, I'll just actually go trip down memory lane over here. My account statement, I'll go back like, I don't know, 100 days. 100 days. Okay. I sold a bunch of puts in FXI. Everybody remember? Anybody actually do this trade? Okay. So I sold a bunch of puts in FXI. Oh, Andy, man, I forgot about swim lessons. No, I'm just kidding. How could I forget about swim lessons? Okay. Swim lessons. What was that? That was a 3 hour per day Don beating the hell out of Jeff Bierman. Okay. I got to tell you though. All right. After taking a beating for so many years, like I was like, that's the first person I got to hire. Which that's true story too. Like that guy can take a beating like no other. Okay, this you're my boy, Blue. Um, seriously, I got to get out more often. I haven't talked to too many humans other than like this microphone in well, basically since Sunday night. All right. I went across the street and talked to an attorney for a while that lives across the street and had a drink last night, but not sure that counts. I was just it's an attorney. All right, continuing on here. Swim lessons. Okay. I haven't brought that up in a long time. For those of you again have no idea, back in the days of our Thinkorswim days, by the time TD Ameritrade took over, okay, the name of the game at TD Ameritrade, I had a 5-year lockup clause. So the only thing I had to do was try to stay quiet and not get fired for cause. So instead, I just beat the crap out of Jeff Bierman every single day live on swim lessons. Called it a day. Okay, we ran a pretty good sized organization at that time, but you know my primary reason for being there was the beatings of Jeff shall continue. Morale will never improve. Anyway, with that being said, in FXI, okay, uh, okay. Oh, the Facebook word is not censored. Son of a, okay. It will be by the end of the day, Sully. Oh, it will be. Okay. Uh, Sully should be censored. All right. Anyway, back to FXI. I sold puts in FXI. Okay. Because quite literally, I wanted to get put FXI. I never got put FXI. I know I was selling puts for like 60 cents, buying them back for like half that, selling crap here for 45 cents, buying them back for 12 cents. It was nice, very profitable trades that we put on in here. And again, we're literally like, only a couple of weeks ago that I actually covered some of this crap. Nevertheless, okay, what now? Now I'm going to wait. I am not going to be selling puts just yet in there, and I want you to know that. So, yeah, I'm not selling puts in here. I'm not comfortable selling puts in here, so I'm going to wait at this point. Bear with me here for 1 second. All right, better. I had a sneeze, and it was gonna deafen all of you that wear headsets in here. So, anyway. Sully. Okay. I am often censored and wear it like a badge of honor. Okay. I got to tell you, I resemble that remark. The problem now with FXI, this is a huge amount of the Chinese regulators coming in and actually buying and supporting the marketplace. Today, Baba comes out, or sorry, Baidu comes out, takes Baba down. It's taking the entire Chinese sector down. I am telling you, this one can easily now crack under 20. We're going to watch it. Okay. I think there's going to be another opportunity. And I really want to reiterate this. I think there's going to be another great opportunity, okay, to buy the Chinese market. Not yet. Not yet. We're going to have to hold the line in here for quite some time. Again, I've already sold puts. I've already opened the position, closed the position. I'll do it again, but we're going to be watching that one. Yeah, look, if Chinese markets bid back up, okay, I'm telling you, they're going to take another turn. That 20 level, I think, is actually going to get breached. And again, we're opening up like a 10-year chart. In fact, even go to a max chart. You got to go all the way back, okay, until the financial crisis to give you an idea of how beaten up Chinese large caps are. Now, granted, the FXI, although it existed back here, it was different products in here. But to give you an idea of how beaten up Chinese markets are, okay, you have to go back to the financial crisis. Now, that's the Chinese large caps. Now, of course, you can go back over here. This doesn't have quite as much data. This is the Dow Jones Shanghai. It's nowhere near that, but the FXI does speak volumes on that particular point. Moreover, I was looking at the EEM the other day and had to go back quite some time on this one as well. Emerging markets, okay, not doing a whole hell of a lot. And again, this goes all the way back. This is the max chart going back to 2003. Obviously, again, nowhere near where we were down in the financial crisis, but that FXI really does speak volumes. All right, so I do have to turn it over to the professor in just a few minutes. By the way, to give you guys a schedule of the day, okay, we've obviously got Jeff coming on next, and Blake, Gianni, Brandon, Tony, Corey, but also at the close is going to be Brandon and Blake. Brandon and Blake are actually going to pick up on that same topic that I was actually discussing earlier, and like it's kind of just like what's left to buy. Where are the deals in this marketplace right now? And I got to tell you, it is a really challenging market right now. Really challenging because I'm just forthright in saying there's a reason that I'm still maintaining some short positions. And I'm not as short as much delta as I was. I had to mellow out some of my delta in here. But actually, if I added it all up in multiple accounts, I'm still quite short some delta. But I can't find crap that I want to buy. Okay. And there's times where I do want to buy stuff. I cannot find stuff that I want to buy. And I look at stuff like even like Caterpillar, which we happen to have a short position in. Okay. I've a couple of different short positions inside of Caterpillar, but where I have a short position inside of Caterpillar, okay, and it's astounding some of the moves that you're actually seeing on the screen. Okay. And you can't come up with a logical or fundamental reason for any of it. All right. All you can come up with is until the trading firms are done with dispersion. Okay. Well, we'll wait. Speaking of which, again, I'll have to mention some of the catapults tomorrow. Some of the catapult trades. That's something that I'm definitely going to be looking for because catapult is basically a version of dispersion, and I'm all about hopping on those types of trades. Look, if it's working for the trading firms, what I'd like to do though with catapult is actually I want to take some shots to the downside. Okay. I don't necessarily want to extend myself to any more critical amounts of risk in here, but I want to take some shots to the downside. I don't want to pay for them. And that's exactly why I'm going to use Catapult to do just that. So I like that somebody's like, oh, you could buy Tesla. Okay. You got me on that one. That's okay. It's only down 18%, but Tesla on a longer time frame, it's tougher. Okay. It's a much tougher one. With that, let me turn it over to the professor who's actually got a part 2 session coming up over here. By the way, the professor's been he's been quiet this morning. He has not been Skyping me in the background really at all. Even after I was, I like to, poke the bear in the cave over there. I was poking him. He's definitely a bear, and I'm pretty sure he lives in a cave. But come on, it's February in like Chicago. Okay, that's par for the course. Jeff's going to be talking about correlation or coincidence. Weird but successful stock market indicators, part 2. By the way, if you missed part 1, I love this kind of crap. I love this kind of crap. He's talking about the hemline indicator. Okay, it's again, the some of the indicators out there, some crazy stuff. The problem is you can't disprove it. With that, stay tuned. Jeff Bierman is coming on here right now.